Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Once upon a time, India and Africa was one continent. India and Africa was one continent, and there was a king who ruled from India to Ethiopia. There was a king who ruled from India to Ethiopia under 127 provinces. Yes, 127 provinces from India to Ethiopia. So it is not surprise that you see many blacks in India. Yes, it is not surprise that you see blacks in India, because India and Ethiopia, Africa was on one continent. So if you read the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 9, you see that the whole story about Esther, Mordecai, and those people happened in the land of Africa. Yes, if you read Esther, the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 9, or the whole passage, chapter 8, you see that the story of Esther and Mordecai, it happened on the land of Africa, Ethiopia. Yes. So Africa is the origin of creation. When God created this world, the land was one land. There was no separation, there was no continent. It was one land. And as time goes on, the continental rift beginning to separate the land, apart the land into continent. The land was on the one side, and the waters, the sea, the ocean was on the one side. But as the time goes on, the ocean began to separate the land into continents, into pieces, into portions. That is why now we have many continents. But in the beginning, it was one continent, one land, and one ocean. But today we have many continents, we have many oceans, names of oceans, but it was one. And the king ruled from India to Africa to Ethiopia over 127 provinces. So Africa and India was on one continent. Yes. So all the story about Esther, all the story about Mordecai, all the story about those people did happen on the land Africa, on the land of Africa. Yes, all the story about Bible, all the story about Bible did happen on the land of Africa. And those people took the story of the Bible and they edited it to suit them. Those who brought the Bible to preach